I'm Shannon Martin. Tonight, a shooting shuts down a Hamilton highway for 12 hours as officers investigate.
This should be happening on people who are shooting at people. We're not supposed to have any guns in Canada, and everybody has them.
We hear from people in the area and the very latest from police. And
I think Oppenheimer is one of my favorite films last year, and I know it has a lot of buzz around it already.
It's Hollywood's biggest night, the Academy Awards. We'll take you there live and to a local watch party in Toronto in moments. Plus,
I feel like a boy. I feel like a kid. I'm just excited to take this challenge on.
Joey Votto is coming home, signing on with the Jays minor league team.
This is CBC Late Night News.
Thanks for joining us. New details are slowly starting to emerge tonight after a shooting shut down a stretch of highway in Hamilton for most of the day. Anam Khan is there. She's been in the area talking to people who live there, trying to piece together what happened. Anam.
I'm standing on Highway 6 just north of Concession 5 East. Now, traffic is moving again, but was closed for about 12 hours in both directions today. Now, police aren't revealing many details, but can confirm that a shooting took place here just after 5 a.m.
This should be happening on people who are shooting at people. We're not supposed to have any guns in Canada.
A single black Honda sedan sits covered in tarp along a stretch of Highway 6 as both Burlington OPP and Hamilton police investigate. Hamilton paramedics confirmed to CBC News they treated 2 people for injuries. 2 females believed to be in their 20s were taken to hospital. One was in critical life-threatening condition and the other in serious condition. Gilles Fortin watched officers all day. His patio furniture store faces the highway. He showed us the security footage, which he also shared with investigators. He says it appears to show a car slow down and veer toward the side of the road at 5:30 a.m.
It's getting a little crazy a little bit, because I never expected shooting around the Highway 6 here, by a quiet area.
The investigation is continuing with the Highway Safety Division Crime Unit along with Forensic Identification Services under the direction of the OPP Criminal Investigation Branch.
The shooting comes just 4 days after a 19-year-old man was shot and killed. Police say Alexander Kirchumaru was targeted as he was walking downtown Hamilton. So far, no arrests have been made.
And that caused a lot of grief and a lot of concern from people all across the city.
Now with Sunday's shooting, City Councillor for the area Ted McMeekin is worried about safety. Police have not released any information yet about potential suspects connected to the highway shooting.
We need more enforcement. We need higher visibility. My heart goes out to the two young women who have been apparently injured, and I'm hoping that they'll soon be able to be interviewed and give some information to the crime unit that might help identify the shooter.
Police are urging anyone who is in the area between 5 and 6 a.m. to call Burlington OPP if they witness the incident or have dash cam footage. Shannon?
And I'm reporting for us tonight in Hamilton. Well, meantime, a shooting in Brampton last night has police trying to track down a teenage suspect. Peel police say a 34-year-old man was shot in this plaza when he was approached and shot multiple times. He's now in serious but stable condition. Officers say the suspect is between 16 to 18 years old, 5'8" to 5'10", with a slim build. He was wearing a dark-colored Nike jacket. And in Ottawa, OPP say a 25-year-old woman has died after walking onto Highway 417 and being struck by multiple vehicles. Police say she was hit near Rochester Street shortly before 7 p.m. yesterday. Now, 2 drivers remained on scene, but OPP want to speak with the driver of a white BMW that was involved, adding the driver may not even be aware of the nature of the incident. The arrival of the Muslim Holy Month is sparking new uncertainty and fear in Israel's war with Hamas. Hopes of a new ceasefire deal before Ramadan are giving way to new concerns Israel will launch a ground offensive in Rafah, the last city in Gaza its troops have yet to enter. Despite the threat of military assault, this was the scene in Rafah after darkness fell several hours ago. A rare moment of joy during the war as some got an early start on Ramadan celebrations. The southern city has become a temporary shelter to more than 1 million Palestinians displaced by the conflict and forced to live in tents. With many on the brink of starvation, the international community is moving to increase the flow of aid to Gaza in any way it can. Now, Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister, Melanie Joly, has announced a new Canadian aid initiative for Gaza. She confirmed Canada will join an international coalition that's behind a new sea corridor delivering humanitarian relief from Cyprus. It's unclear at this stage what form Canada's support will take. Turning to the latest in Haiti, Canada's ambassador to the United Nations, Bob Ray, is heading to Jamaica tomorrow to discuss the escalating violence.
We are really going to try to see not only how do we encourage the Haitians to create a successful transition, but how do we make sure that we're able to respond to the criminal activities which have taken over the country. The country is now effectively run by gangs, and that is something which cannot be allowed to continue.
It's now been a week since Haiti declared a state of emergency in response to surging gang violence that's threatening to topple the government. Since then, thousands have fled their homes. The United States has partially evacuated its embassy. Marines have been sent in to help get out non-essential staff. Armed gangs have taken over much of the capital, attacking several police stations and government facilities. Taking you to Etobicoke now, where Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre and supporters were rallying against the carbon tax.
According to the parliamentary budget officer, when this tax and the second carbon tax combine to take full effect, as they will over the next 5 years, should God forbid he be re-elected, the total cost to an average family in Ontario will be $4,078 in carbon tax.
On April 1st, the price of carbon will be going up from $65 to $80 a ton in the provinces and territories where the federal backstop applies, including Ontario. 90% of government revenue from the carbon tax are returned to households through a rebate program. Well, turning now to the Academy Awards, it just wrapped up moments ago in Hollywood with Oppenheimer snagging many of the top prizes.
I see Oppenheimer. Yes.
Yes, the story of the American scientist and his role in developing the atomic bomb dominated many categories. There were upsets and some surprises, too. Watching it all for us is our Eli Glasner. Eli, let's start with the big winner, something that you've predicted and a film we've talked about many times.
Yeah, but still a remarkable film, over 3 hours, multiple timelines, as Christopher Nolan is usually that's the way he operates. And the way he was operating tonight, Shannon, he came backstage into the press area, double fisting the Oscars, stood up on stage, and he was joking, like, how does it feel? He's like, well, you can curl with them. So he's got his Best Director Oscar, he's got his Best Picture Oscar, and all in all, this remarkable film about Robert J. Oppenheimer, the father of the atomic bomb, 7 Oscars. It was nominated in 13 categories, not too shabby for Robert Downey Jr., for Cillian Murphy, for so many more, and I think well-deserved. A lot of people in this town love the director. It's the most ambitious thing he's ever done. But you mentioned there's some surprises, and the other story of the night, I think, is Poor Things in the end, going home with 4 Oscars, including the Best Actress category, and this was a surprise. A lot of people, this person in particular, have been predicting that it would be Lily Gladstone making history for her performance in Killers of the Flower Moon. She would have been the first Indigenous woman to win in that category. I think she was fantastic, but Poor Things is certainly a more exuberant, more emotional performance. Emma Stone playing Bella Baxter, and because it wasn't as widely predicted, I think you really saw Emma the moment it kind of dawned on her and her still reacting as she came up to stage. Let's take a look.
I am Bella Baxter. Oh boy, this is really overwhelming. Sorry, okay. And my voice is also a little gone. Whatever. The women on the stage, you are all incredible, and the women in this category.
I mean, deserved, hilarious, incredibly authentic and endearing. Also want to mention great Canadian moment, Ben Proudfoot. This is a filmmaker from Halifax. He won an Oscar for Queen of Basketball a couple of years ago. He won his second tonight for the the Last Repair Shop. This is a documentary about a place here in Los Angeles where kids in music programs, just like kids in Toronto, if their saxophone, their oboe needs a fix, you send it to this place and you can keep playing your instrument. It really is. Proudfoot was telling us about how music can change lives, and he was talking about backstage about just the power of the documentary and the lives of these kids that he's helped change, bringing them along as part of his Oscar journey. Shannon, they pulled up to the red carpet in a school bus earlier today.
I love that. Love seeing the Canadians doing incredible work. You know, there were a lot of big moments, and I can think of some other Canadians making a bit of a splash there on stage.
I'm going to give you two of my highlights. The first is Godzilla -1 winning in the visual effects category. Now, why is that exciting to me? Because this is an amazing monster movie about Godzilla from Japan with a budget around about $10 million. It went up in the visual effects category against monsters, against Guardians of the Galaxy, against movies with multiple $100 million budgets, and yet the creativity and the ingenuity of bringing Godzilla back to life, directed by Takashi Yamazaki, who brought Godzilla on stage with him in a little figurine. Just an amazing thing, and just I think the testament to his creativity and our love of those monsters. And they don't need a big budget, but you do need Ryan Gosling. And even though we didn't get him winning Best Supporting Actor as Ken for Barbie, even though Barbie only won one award of the night and it was Best Song, we got one last performance of Ryan Gosling with an army of Kens, Slash on guitar, Simu Liu, one of many Kens there. Let's take a look.
I'm just kidding. Anywhere else I'd be today. Is it my destiny to live a life of love for
It has been a long, long journey for Gosling, and he has been a great sport about the Ken of it all. And I think you could see the smile on his face. It was genuine. And yeah, now he's on to much other things, but it's a great last hurrah for the Kens of the world, Shannon.
Totally, and we had Simu in the background as well, giving it his all. Thank you for you, Eli, giving it your all for us tonight. Just a marathon weekend for you. We really appreciate you joining us, Eli. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Here in Toronto, people were cheering for the Canadians working on screen and behind the scenes. Vanessa Ballantyne takes us to a party where fans talk about what the night means to them.
Torontonians gathered at the TIFF Bell Lightbox Sunday evening for this year's Academy Awards show. The night featured drinks, popcorn, a red carpet for photos, and the chance for members to vote for the movies and people they think should win.
I'm rooting for Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer's probably going to win.
TIFF staff say over 300 people registered to watch the screening of the Academy Awards. And while fans say they had their favorites when it came to movies and actors, they also came out to show their support for the local community. For this film fan, the night was a chance to celebrate the growing diversity of both the city and the film industry.
Having this event here and having people from different ethnic backgrounds seeing themselves being represented at such an award like Oscars, it really means a lot.
It's something the festival's chief programming officer, Anita Lee, agrees with. Lee was also an executive producer of To Kill a Tiger, which was nominated for Best Documentary Feature Film. She says the movie was produced completely by Canadians, with the majority of the team hailing from Toronto.
I think the growth of Toronto as this incredibly rich and cosmopolitan, diverse city just means that it's going to be, bringing talent from so many different backgrounds and perspectives. I think the city's future for the cinema is very exciting and very rich.
The screening at TIFF has been going on for years. While every year's nominations are different, Fans say they look forward to seeing Canadians being recognized.
Because we have amazing talent and we tell very interesting and very important stories.
Vanessa Balantek, CBC News, Toronto.
Sophia joining us now for our first look at the forecast. How'd you fare with the time change in your house?
We were a little groggy this morning, but the forecast will be feeling like Hollywood North this week. We will be waking up with all the sunshine coming in for this upcoming work week, Shannon. We'll get over the grogginess when we have that extra daylight hours. Right now, though, the star of the show is still these snow squalls. They've been plaguing much of the region throughout the day, especially this Cobourg to Kingston stretch around that 401 area. Another 5 to 10 centimeters for many of you around the Georgian and the Huron shores. But then, as we mentioned, sunshine will be the name of the game this upcoming work week. That northwest flow that brought all the lake effect squalls over the warmer lake waters throughout the day today will be changing to a southerly flow come Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Brilliant bluebird skies. We haven't seen them in quite a while, along with temperatures that will resemble good golf course weather as opposed to ski hill weather for this upcoming March break for many. Still a little chilly for your Monday morning, just below the freezing mark, but by Monday afternoon we are about 5 degrees above seasonal, the double digits already in the southwest, and you will love the forecasts coming up. That is, unless you're a skier in the long range.
Well, we want the bluebird sky. That sounds lovely. Thanks so much, Sophia.
And patio weather, maybe.
Yes, crazy. A hometown baseball hero is joining Canada's team in the minor leagues. Joey Votto has signed a deal with the Blue Jays. As Katie Nicholson shows us, joining the Jays has been a lifelong dream for the first baseman.
Red open. After 17 years hitting dingers in his Cincinnati Reds uniform,
Man, that was a bomb.
Joey Votto is finally sporting the blue of his hometown team. An invite to Toronto Blue Jays spring training in Dunedin, Florida, came just days after posting this sad picture. Missing ball, he wrote. Now he's posting a decidedly more joyous and younger image to celebrate signing a minor league contract with the Jays.
I've wanted to play here since I was wearing a Blue Jays bib. So this was an easy decision for me.
An easy decision, perhaps, but a difficult road ahead. Votto was dropped by the Reds in November. At 40, he admits he's not the player he used to be. He's had surgery to repair a shoulder, and he's going to have to earn a berth on the Jays roster.
I may never play a game for the Toronto Blue Jays. I may never wear a major league uniform again, but this is my opportunity to give it a shot.
This is the homecoming that we were all hoping for. Unfortunately, it's 5 years too late.
In Blue Jays Nation, a mix of excitement and disappointment it didn't happen earlier in his career. But don't count him out, say those who've watched him play since high school.
No, not that guy. He is he capitalizes on opportunities. He hits very well in the Rogers Center.
Jays superfan and blogger Veronica Chung says news Votto could join the team has been a big off-season boost for fans hoping for a better year ahead.
It would be a nice story for him to compete with a Canadian team, and he's able to find his way back and achieve something as great as, making a playoff run, a deep one.
Hope springs eternal, but first, this particular hope will have to survive spring training. Katie Nicholson, CBC News, Toronto.
The Paris 2024 Olympics are just a couple months away. Future Olympic hopefuls had a chance to showcase their skills at an official talent search in Scarborough.
Today we're at the Pan Am Center. We're testing hundreds of athletes at the RBC training ground. It's a combine where we can see if athletes in their current sport might be more suited towards another sport, or they need extra funding for their current sport. In Canada, we don't have many talent identification programs, but what's so special about it is that athletes who maybe never had the opportunity to try a sport like bobsled or skeleton because of their area or whatever, or just they never just got the opportunity, they can come here see what their skills are, get selected for bobsled, get selected for sculling, get selected for rugby, and maybe start their Olympic path in a different way.
It's a first for us in terms of talent ID. Often talent ID is through squash events themselves. So having an event where it's multiple athletes from all different walks of sport is really exciting for us. I'm excited to see people take different routes to go into the game, try it out. Even if, people here have never played squash before, if from meeting me, from participating in this program, if they try it in the next couple weeks after this, that would be amazing.
Coming to this event, my eyes have been open to a lot of new sports that I've never really seen or heard of before, and it's really interesting to get to hear about the different sports. It allows you to get to know yourself as an athlete and also get to know other sports, so it opens up your alleyways and it teaches you a lot.
This opportunity is great, for people that don't have enough money to get where they want in life or just to get some support. This is a great opportunity, so everybody has a fair chance to make it where they want to be.
Tigran's Nowruz Festival was back this weekend, celebrating the arrival of the Persian New Year and marking International Women's Day.
We believe that Nowruz is about rebirth and renewal and hope. And women are definitely a symbol of birth and rebirth and hope.
The festival taking place throughout the weekend, featuring a variety of programming from films, theater, and dance, as well as a special Nowruz artisan market. I know you're doing fun stuff with the kids all the time. Is there anything you're looking forward to this coming week?
You know what? The temperatures and the sights will be great for maple syrup this upcoming work week. We've got double digits in the forecast. It is going to be fantastic for all that sap that will be running. So lots of maple syrup festivals around the region. Let's talk a little bit about this anomalous warmth, Shannon. Not totally unheard of, because we did have mid-teens in February as well, but what a stretch of sunny skies for all of you heading out to the March break rush and going to all those day trips and staycation events. Look at this, a few days at the double digits right around the GTA before this big ridge of high pressure that we will have building midweek relaxes and lets in more of a seasonal flow and some rain for the weekend. But until then, have a look at some of these numbers across the province. Warmth even headed up to the Hudson's Bay area, 10 to 15 degrees above normal in the Nickel Belt. And look at southwestern Ontario for a minute for this upcoming work week. 6 days maybe above the mid-teen range, maybe even flirting with the 20s. Not great for the skiers around the Collingwood region, but if you're heading up to the Quebec area for March break, we got a ton of snow there yesterday, Shannon, about 35 centimeters.
Wow, that's the place to be for the slopes. Thanks, Sophia. Have a great week. That's our show for you tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. We hope you have a great night. We'll see you again next weekend, and happy March break.